I went to see the Odyssey today, a movie I followed since it was announced, a movie that over a year ago brought me into the original Greek myth where I immediately fell in love. A revelation struck me, a realization that every single story conceived all goes back to the Odyssey.
What? Really?
For example, the SpongeBob movie basically adapts the Odyssey but with SpongeBob. Follows SpongeBob and Patrick's journey all the way back to Bikini Bottom, which is already a definition of an Odyssey, right? And they even face a Cyclops in a way, right? And they even use a bag of wind, literally taking that straight from the Greek myth. There's even parallels you could track with Mindy being a mirror to Athena's role in the Odyssey. And I don't think I need to explain Mario Odyssey.
It's a Mario.
I love that game so much, man. That's like the first game that got me into gaming as a whole. Goodness, that game is so good. And speaking of really good games, the Red Dead games have roots that lead back all the way to the Odyssey and even the Iliad.
What?
At least, let's stretch some stuff around, but you'll see it. Okay, you'll see it. Picture Red Dead 2 as the Iliad, the main journey that throws all of the mythos all over the place, which results in all of them being separated and having to find their own way home. Follow? You could even liken Micah to being a Trojan horse, but that's just more of a way to use the term. The Trojan horse is how Odysseus wins, right? And Micah is not how they win, so, John Marston can be considered Odysseus, especially in Red Dead 1, a man who takes on a very long journey through a brutal, violent world just so he could return to his family. Shame his story doesn't end the same way. Finding Nemo even uses that general theme that was popularized by the Odyssey, by using the love for family to fuel Marlin's adventure through the oceans just to reach his son, same as Odie. A journey where he bumps into challenge after challenge, obstacle after obstacle, but is fueled by love all the way through. Speaking of, the Toy Story movie itself, the first one, is already an Odyssey, right? Buzz and Woody needing to adventure to their home. Odysseus' love for his son he never got to raise is paralleled in Woody's love and care for Andy. You could even liken Buzz to be very loosely, very, very loosely to the suitors, but very loosely. But you can see it, right? I mean, it's because it's an Odyssey, it's a journey. But the concept of an Odyssey, of a journey, originated from, the Odyssey. So you can see how this has been the foundation for so many stories like Star Wars. The line that of the Odyssey, where Luke Skywalker himself is thrown in a galactic Odyssey. It's very loose, alright? That's a very loose thing, but you can see and feel the seeds of it in the Star Wars movies, right? On that topic of Luke Skywalker, characters like him all go back to Telemachus, one of the oldest coming-of-age stories that focuses on a young protagonist. A young protagonist that puts their whole heart and soul into building themselves, into building something. Like me, I work hard in these videos and your support means so much to me, please do it. But also the characters like Robin, Dick Grayson, someone who has to learn to find his own path, learn to grow, to go from a child to a warrior. These themes are rooted in Telemachus' story. Spider-Man was born from the idea of young characters taking the spotlight. Peter Parker represents and pioneered that idea. In fact, you could tie characters like Bruce Wayne, Iron Man, and other human characters to the Odyssey. A myth that centers itself on mortal characters living in a world made by the gods, filled with threats and dangers no man should ever face. Odysseus, just like Iron Man and Batman, used their wits to outsmart, outplay, and defeat those larger-than-life threats.
Ever read the Odyssey? After Odysseus was caught by the Cyclops, he told it his name was Nobody. So when he poked its eye out and its friends asked who did it, all the Cyclops could say was, nobody.
I love the Lord of the Rings movies. And again, it's an Odyssey by definition, right? It's a journey to get to this certain place. A journey that requires occasional divine intervention, whether it's Gandalf or Athena. A journey that centers itself on human mortal characters in a world where they are hopelessly overpowered. But like Odysseus, what makes these characters achieve their impossible goals is the love that fuels them, that binds them. I don't really have to explain Epic the musical. I mean, it's obviously based on the Odyssey, right?
She's the goddess of wisdom and war.
The story of the Odyssey defined the hero's journey, created the term Odyssey, built the foundation for stories that focused on young characters such as Telemachus, and of course pioneered women like Penelope to be just as important and influential and witty as the other male characters in the story. The new Odyssey might not be a generational movie to some, but it is a movie that tells a story that has been carried down from generations. There's an aura in knowing that hundreds of years ago, there were people just like us who sat down and watched the recitation of Odysseus, Telemachus, and Penelope's grand story, grand Odyssey. People who cheered and cried the same way I did watching this film. This story is not just a story, it is the blueprint and foundation of fiction itself.
This is prohibited.